Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Burgundy Zone. I am Kyle, joined by my co-host Michael Hall.
Trying not to die over here, but what's going on?
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning back in. It is Thursday, which means it is game day, baby. The Redskins face off against the Bengals here at FedEx Field.
Preseason home opener.
It is going to be a lot of fun, in particular, because last week we didn't really have that much to gauge with Dwayne Haskins, and tonight it looks like Dwayne Haskins will have a bunch of opportunities. That being said, because Jay Gruden yesterday said Colt McCoy is actually not cleared for contact and he will not play in tonight's game. So
typical Colt.
It's going to be the case, Dwayne, and then what was the guy we picked up after Woodrum got injured?
Jalen
McClendon, that's what it is. So a lot of Jalen McClendon, but we're going to be able to see a good sample size of Case and Dwayne. So what are you looking for out of Dwayne tonight?
Just to build on what he did last week as far as getting in and out of the huddle. I would like to see him maybe protect himself a little bit better this week so he doesn't take as much hits.
Yeah.
Obviously, no turnovers would be
preferable.
Preferable, yeah. I couldn't think of the word. Preferable. And just pretty much just raise his completion percentage a little bit, his QB rating a little bit, which goes into the interceptions. And like I said before, just protect himself and showcase that big arm he has. Yeah,
and one thing I really want to look for in particular with Dwayne Haskins tonight is the short yardage, the checkdowns. Because last week, what a lot has been reported about Dwayne is that he forces the ball down the field a lot. Mm-hmm. And in practice, and it's not a bad thing by any stretch, but there's a big difference between Colt McCoy, Case Keenum, and Dwayne Haskins. Colt McCoy and Case are really good at getting the ball to the checkdowns. It's pretty much how their offense operates.
Get it out in rhythm.
Right. Dwayne gets the ball downfield more. This has been a known thing in practice. It's been talked about. So what I would like to see Dwayne do, I would like to see Dwayne come out more looking like Alex Smith.
Right.
Once he starts getting the offense later on, that's when he can start opening up as Brett Favre. But as of right now, I think Dwayne needs to really up his game in the short yardage to mediate territory because guys like Alex Smith have shown you can make a career off of that.
Easily.
And if you're really good at getting the ball downfield and you're bad at checking down, you're in a great position to be really good in this league.
Yep.
And great thing is he has one hell of a coach for those checkdowns. And not only then, the man checked down Charlie, Alex Smith himself.
Yeah.
Teaching him what to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect situation for Dwayne Haskins. So I want to see him check the ball down. I know it's really stupid to say because it's not fun to watch.
Hey, Tom Brady's made a career out of it so far. I mean.
Yeah, because you have to think about it. Like you said less hits, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when you think about it, if you can't get the ball out of your hands and if you don't have an outlet to go to, you get hit.
Yeah.
But if you're able to know, if my 1, 2, 3 reads aren't open, I got my 4th read to check down right here. That's where the problem is with Dwayne, I feel like, is because he's trying to get the ball down the field. It's covered. Oh, no, what do I do now?
Hey, he's a rookie. He's trying to make plays.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
It's his first time out there. But like you said, he does a lot in practice too, which, again, it goes back to when you're in college, you have a big arm like that, you can kind of get away with trying to fit it in closed spaces or tight spaces and kind of like just slinging it down the field pretty much.
Yeah.
But NFL, obviously, people are faster, stronger. Those windows are going to close like snap of a finger. So, like you said, check down would be definitely preferable to that.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to see that from him. And then also the actual rhythm of the game I want to see him being able to get. Because what was kind of crappy was last week, Baker Mayfield and the Browns, they come out in a no huddle. Mm-hmm. I think their headsets and their helmets went dead because at one point Baker was telling Freddie Kitchens, "Hey, I can't hear you."
Well, did you hear the report that it was like a known thing that they were coming out in like the no huddle?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
The Browns pregame went over to the coaching staff. The Browns pregame went over to the coaching staff and we're like, "Hey, just to we're not going to catch you off guard. It's first preseason game. We're going to let you know we're coming out the break, starting fast, no huddle down the field." And it just goes to show the Redskins knew what was coming, and the death problem is going to be maybe a problem this year because they knew what was coming and got sliced and diced.
Yeah, because I was thinking maybe that headset was the reason why they went into the no huddle, but it's funny to look at the Browns who were able to go into no huddle in the first preseason game, and the Redskins are having a hard time having plays called in the huddle.
Right.
And so that's where it's really funny to see where the two franchises are right now. But that's another area where I'd like to see Dwayne Haskins improve. Secondly, I would love to be able to see Terry McLaurin on the field tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope they don't.
Yeah.
Because I would love to be able to see him out there, but I just feel like this guy is going to start week 1. I really have a feeling about him. And Jimmy Moreland, I hope we can see more out of Jimmy Moreland. We talked about this last week. My biggest concern with Jimmy Moreland was he showed up in practice but didn't show up in games. He disproved that last week.
Mm-hmm.
Can he be consecutive? Can he bring this together and consistent and bring these 2 games together back to back?
Right.
And that's when, if he can do that, I honestly believe that he has that 4th corner slot locked up.
Yeah, I mean, I already think he has it locked up just because
Yeah.
he's been balling out when he gets his chances. But my one knock on Jimmy Moreland is he's just so tiny that, like I said last week, in the run game, I know he's willing and able to get down and dirty, which is great and fine and dandy. But when you're like a $170 going against a 300-pound lineman in a run game or a screen game, it's a huge mismatch. As in on any corner, but I'm just saying in general. But as far as making plays, knocking the ball out on fumbles, tip balls, pass deflections, interceptions, by far he has a 4th spot locked down. I actually want to see the first team defense on the field, not maybe not every
a series,
maybe a series or 2, maybe 2 series of the max.
Right.
Maybe rotate and settle and is Brantley off the injury list yet?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Maybe Brantley and Settle rotated in. Get Sean Dion Hamilton rotated in, Bostic rotated in there with the first teamers. But I want to see how the first team secondary looks. Obviously, we know D line's going to be legit, but I want to see the middle 3 linebackers, middle 4 linebackers, and the back end. I want to see how they play tonight.
Yeah, I think I think a lot went into last week, and what the Browns were able to do. The Redskins, I think, went to a lot of people's heads, and so I understand. I get it. Honestly, I'm not really concerned. I really am not. I think the defense. I think defense is figured out.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're good. I mean, that was the one area last year that we didn't have to worry about until later in the season. But obviously, that was because of the offense. The offense is what keyed in on me. The biggest thing is who they start at left tackle tonight, who they start at left guard.
Yep.
I want to be able to see. I think they're trying to keep their hand close to them. I think they're not trying to let teams know what they have in Wes Martin, and that's why they paired Wes Martin with Donald Penn last week when he was on the field with Dwayne Haskins. I feel like they're trying to keep that under wraps, and that wouldn't surprise me at all if that's the starting 5 come week 1 against the Eagles, and that being Donald Penn, Wes Martin, Royer, Scherf, and then Moses.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised by that one bit. So I would like to see if they're on the field tonight starting, and also how well they are at running the ball. Running the ball is the most important aspect to this Redskins team. Obviously, running the ball is always important to everybody, but for this Redskins team in particular, and being able to contain the health of the defense by not getting them overly tired during the season, but also giving the quarterback a lot easier of a path because it's a new quarterback to the system. Doesn't matter who they pick.
Yep.
I don't even care if you pick Colt McCoy. I feel like he's still new.
No, yeah, I mean, I would love to see Darius Geis, but obviously the reports are coming out that he's not cleared fully for contact. Both of us already
I don't believe that for a goddamn second,
we think
dude.
he's fully cleared. We just think it's more of a precautionary thing after what happened last year. We don't want to give him too much of a workload in the preseason, not having him there for week 1. But I definitely would like to see Darius Geis run behind the line, the starting 5 line. But I guess we'll see that next week in the 3rd preseason game.
Yeah, we talked about on the way here. Sean McVay last season didn't play barely any starters all preseason.
Doing the same thing this year, too.
Yeah, do the same thing because we talked about it. If you're Jay Gruden, you're sitting there, all right, look, everyone's going to bitch at me about continuity and everyone gelling together through training camp if the team doesn't start out well. But if I'm Jay Gruden, I'm sitting here saying, well, if I start my starters in preseason, they get hurt. And now the continuity is gone because now they have to gel to somebody new anyway.
Exactly.
So why wouldn't you just be starting something new and trying to gel guys that are the starters, that are good?
Yep.
I don't see any problem with the way Jay really does conduct himself because I view Jay as a scared puppy during preseason. Like, I imagine Jay is just cowering in a closet somewhere, worried that someone's going to get injured tonight. I'm being serious.
Look, after the last 2 seasons, the way they've went, I'd be right there with him. I'd be over top of him like, it's okay, Jay. It's okay. It's okay.
No one's going to get hurt tonight. It's all right, Jay. It's going to be a normal preseason game. You don't know, man. You don't know, man.
You don't know what I've been through.
You haven't seen what I've seen, man. I've seen things. Just absolutely crazy stuff. And look, I think that they'll be fine tonight. I just hope the starters Go one series, both sides of the ball. I think select few people shouldn't even play at all. And like I said, I don't think it should be Terry. I don't think it should be Darius Geis or Jordan Reed. I think those guys sit, and I would love to be able to not play Deron Payne. For some reason, I just feel like something's going to happen to him this year. I would like him to sit all preseason long if can be, because the one thing that people keep talking about with Deron Payne is this dude is a lot similar to Aaron Donald out in L.A. And so if we can keep that guy healthy for the whole season, again, this could be a very good defense.
Oh, without a doubt. Like I said, the defensive line I'm not really concerned about. I just want to see what Brantley and Tim Settle can do in their second year in the defense, and as they become rotational, productive players in the defense. And like I said, Sean Deion Hamilton, Bostwick. I said Bostwick. Yeah, Bostwick. By John Bostic, Sean Deion Hamilton, Holcomb. I want to see what Holcomb does, if he can build on what he did last week, because I think that he's going to be a pivotal piece in our defense coming up this year. And, actually, before I forget, I want to see young Julius Peppers on the field tonight. I want to see Montez Sweat rush the passer. I want to see if he can set the edge in the run game, first of all, because that was kind of the big knock on him. He's only a pass rusher. But from what I saw, I think he can set the edge. I want to see him set the edge on the run game against a great running back in Joe Mixon. And I want to see if he can get to the quarterback on first, second, and obviously on third down when it's really key. And, yeah.
I mean, honestly, tonight the defensive line should do really well. The Cincinnati Bengals last season just riddled with bad play all across the offensive line. Ever since they lost Andrew Whitworth and Zeitler, they have gone off the rails, and it's a really bad offensive line. So Montez Sweat and those guys should get after the quarterback tonight. They should be able to screw up that running game. So look for a big standout performance from the defense, I think. I think they're really going to strap things. They're going to have one knockout series, probably going to be a 3-and-out, and Jay's going to say, gone. Yep. Boom. You guys are sitting down. And I hope that's the way he conducts himself, to be perfectly honest.
100% agree.
And I don't want to see Chris Thompson. I think Chris Thompson can just sit his little ass down.
There's some people you just be like, look, bubble wrap him. We'll see you week
Sit your sexy ass down. Just sit there and look cute. But honestly. And something I wanted to talk about, your boy from Michigan, I forget his name. He's balling in Green Bay training camp right now.
Oh, Rashawn Gary?
Yeah. Wait, is that his name? No, it's Dixon, I think, is the guy's name or something. There's some pass rusher that is destroying camp up in Green Bay right now.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary's the defensive end they drafted from Michigan.
Yeah, I don't think it's him, though, because it's like Rogers or some Spanish word name thing. But seriously, killing it, by the way. But the update on Trent Williams is there really isn't any.
I don't think there's going to be one until...
See, you and I argue with this because I legitimately think that I have to keep the same mindset I had back in April, and that's Trent's not going anywhere. I've seen a lot of things come to the way, and only one thing makes sense. With everything that has transpired, only one thing makes sense, and that is Trent Williams coming back to play for the Redskins. That's the only way it visions my mind, because there's no other way the Redskins can get compensation and help themselves this year. Bruce Allen has said, we're close. We're close. Well, if you believe you're close, you don't trade your left tackle and literally now have a void on the offensive line on that left side. Yeah. You've lost all continuity over there. You're starting brand new. Is that really close? I don't think so. So I for some reason, I just have a feeling that Trent's going to be back, and this was just a huge circus.
I mean, you already know. We go back and forth. I go back and forth every day. Like, oh, he'll be here, and I won't be here.
You're right.
I'll be here, he won't be here.
It seems like every day is like that. It's just
literally like 51% one day, he's going to be gone. The next day, it's 51%. Oh, he'll be back. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on the side of 51%. He probably won't be back. I'm hearing reports all over ESPN, Internet, Yahoo, stuff like that, CBS, saying that the Redskins want to net a first-rounder, or the compensation for Trent would be a first-round pick and a sixth-round pick, which goes and tells me that obviously teams are calling for him, and they're only offering maybe a second and a sixth, a second and a seventh, right, a third and a fifth, or a fourth and a whatever else. So I just think that once a couple injuries happen here and there for teams, we get closer and closer to week one. Obviously, the Houston Texans are on the brink of Super Bowl contention in the AFC. They need a left tackle. Well, they need a whole offensive line, but they need a left tackle direly. Trent's from the Houston area. That's where his home's at. It just makes too much sense for the Texans not to be trade for Trent Williams to protect Deshaun Watson and possibly make a Super Bowl run. But again, tomorrow I could be right back on the side of he'll be here. He's not going to miss game check, so he'll miss week 1, possibly, maybe, most likely. He'll be back for the Cowboys game.
I 100% agree with you. Everything you just said makes so much sense why Trent would leave.
Yeah.
But the one caveat I have to that is they just traded for Duke Johnson and gave up a third.
Yeah.
Them possibly giving up a first or a second is going to be very unlikely unless they're selling out completely to win this year.
They're going to end up trading to Jadeveon Clowney, which is going to net them whatever draft picks back
right.
Anyway, so.
But that's also the other thing. I would say it's a shoe-in fit 100%. You're right. If we weren't decked out on the defensive line, then I would say, yeah.
Well, no, I'm not talking about Clowney.
No, I know. I was just elaborating. But
player for player, yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't think that's going to happen.
If there was no Montez Sweat, we would have already been.
Yeah, I think that's legit because like not only do you have to Jadeveon Clowney would be coming here, you'd also have to pay him a contract that he wants.
Exactly.
And you're giving away. Look, Trent isn't all that much compared to what Jadeveon Clowney's asking for.
But if all the reports are what they say they are, that it's also that he wants a little bit more money, then at the end of the day, we'd be paying Trent the same money we pay Clowney. So, but yeah, we don't need Clowney on the squad right now because we got 2 pass rushers, potentially 3 with Ryan Anderson maybe emerging this year. Finally.
Don't forget about my boy Casanova McKenzie though.
Making his 2nd year in a row.
Dude, I think that dude is a dark horse. Hey, I think he can do well.
The bend that he gets on the edge against tackles.
Did you watch that play?
Crazy.
That was insane. The med that he had. I was saying that looks like a pro.
He looks
looks like Von Miller.
You know what it made me remind me of? Whenever dudes on their motorcycles like hit the turns and he's like they're low to the ground like man. That's what that shit reminded me of. This shit was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was really... Obviously, it was against a backup, against inferior competition. I get it, but just showing the guy has flashes. Exactly. And it's possibly there.
And on top of that, everyone's been forgetting about the 7th-round pick out of Oklahoma State that we drafted, the defensive end, pass rusher.
Jordan Brailford?
Brailford, yep. Everyone's forgetting about him. Obviously, his name's not coming up a lot because we're kind of set on the edge right now. But the potential for him to be a pass rushing specialist, not in the beginning of the season, maybe towards the middle, towards the end, is going to bode well for us also. Yeah,
and that's what it kind of makes Ryan Anderson out to dry almost because if Jordan Brailford balls out, you don't really have a slot for Ryan Anderson because he's not that good of a pass rusher.
Hey,
his run defending though is incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, he's one of the best run defenders
without a doubt.
And that's why I just feel like I honestly feel like Ryan Anderson could be a fullback, middle linebacker in disguise, just in case of emergency situations.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone's already seen, for some reason he just bulldozes people when it comes to playing fullback on the goal line. And since his rookie year, he's been setting the edge on the run game very, very well. It's just you got to get the pass rushing and just put everything together. And this is his 3rd year in the league. Hopefully, year 3, third time's a charm. This will be the year where he breaks out. Yeah. He's an Alabama boy, so what can you say?
Oh, he needs it this year, and obviously the Redskins need it too with the letting go of Preston Smith. They need, obviously, some depth there.
He's been killing it up in Green Bay.
Has he?
Obviously. He left the Redskins. He's going to go kill it now. But
yeah.
Good for him, though.
I'm sure he found pass rushing as soon as he left Washington. Exactly. It's crazy. It's almost like Brian Arakpo just rubbing off on people. Ridiculous.
Who also went to Tennessee and for some reason
was a sack leader, had double-digit sacks, was incredibly good. It just makes no sense. He only knew one move here in Washington. That was the bull rush. I would sit here and watch every Redskins game, and all you would see from Brian Arakpo is this. Every single
he's
one.
hitting the sled every day,
just no pass rushers. Like, dude, is the outside linebackers coach going to teach these guys pass rush moves? Like, I'll go down there and I'll tell them how to slap hands.
Right.
Like, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Ridiculous. But look, it's probably happening again.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to happen to Montez Sweat after he leaves us and goes and becomes a Hall of Famer.
I don't know, man. I think that with all the assistant coaches they brought in this year, like, a lot of former ex-head coaches and stuff like that, a lot of experience. I think that this is finally the year where, obviously, the head coach might be gone next year, which is still just stupid to me. But with the assistants we got in place, with Kevin O'Connell, which could possibly be the head coach in waiting in place, I just think that we've been building something since we drafted
Allen.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen first. And then we drafted Sheriff. And then it was Payne. And we've just been building. I'm in the belief that if Haskins can get it together by, say, mid-season, end of this season, into next year, we'll be in contention for a playoff spot. Maybe even a deep run in the playoffs come next year.
I think that can happen this year.
You know me. I'm just saying
the NFL is so lopsided right now because the NFC East is more vulnerable now than it has been in years past. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys don't know what's going on with their wide receiver, quarterback, and running back position. They don't know that. They have a really good defense. They do. But something can happen there. Something can go off the rails.
Players. They got to let go of some of the defensive players.
Well, I mean, this year, things can happen with them. Like we've seen with the Cowboys what happens when Zeke isn't in the game. Right. You saw what happened when Tyrone Smith isn't in the game for one time and gives up 5 sacks immediately.
To Claiborne.
Right. Ridiculous stuff. But the fact being is the Eagles with Carson Wentz, you're not 100% sure with his health. He can stay healthy all year long. And with the Giants, they're just not that good of an overall team. So you could sit here and say, look, the Redskins can arguably have a good chance of making the playoffs, you could say. Something bad is going to happen, one way or another.
Every year it happens. One team in this East, it happens every year, whether it be Wentz with the injury, like you said, whether it be Zeke getting suspended, or Alex Smith breaking his leg last year, there's always something that happens where the team that was on the top last year always gets somehow knocked to the bottom. So this could be the year.
And when the Redskins are considered underdogs, they do, historically speaking, they do better.
Yep.
When not thought of as very well. I mean, we look back at 2012 with RG3's rookie year. Nobody thought the Redskins, they thought they were going to be 4th in the NFC East. Redskins blew the lid off everyone. Then the Redskins 2015 with Kirk Cousins led them back to get a playoff berth in Week 17 against the Eagles.
Yep, a home playoff game at that.
Also, they thought the Redskins were going to be crap because Kirk Cousins was the worst quarterback in the league. Ended up being a top 5 offense. Yep. So if everyone thinks the Redskins are the worst team in the NFL right now, one of them 3-13. Remember that 3-13.
I mean, you can even go back to just last year. We were 6-3, 3 games up in the division, or 2.5 up in the division, until all hell broke loose and everything went to shit. But, again, everyone had such low expectations for us last year. Thought we were going to be last in the division. Blah, 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 blah.
They had a good
More than
chance.
halfway through the season, we were 6-3.
Look, they weren't wrong.
I mean, they weren't.
I mean, the Giants obviously had a worse record than the Redskins. Let's not get that wrong. But the fact being is, it's just fun.
It's just we were there, and then something happened. Like, injury may happen. Whatever happened. Whatever happens, and snap of a finger. Season down the drain.
Yeah, and that can happen at any time, and obviously, I think there's more vulnerability here in the NFC East than of years past. I think the Redskins they are in their own way.
Yep.
And it just depends on if they can just let loose of this goddamn curse, this smog, this just puff of smoke that's around them that just carries with them.
We've been following, like, low-key, if you think about it, we've been following the Seattle's blueprint when they won it with Russell Wilson.
It's true. But they didn't invest in the offensive line as much as we did.
I'm just talking about as far as, like, defense, like, build the defense up, let the defense hold it down, and then...
Well, if you think about it, they actually did, because in 2010, the Redskins drafted Trent Williams. And right after the Redskins, the Seattle Seahawks took Russell Okung. Mm-hmm. So you could almost say they birthed in the same place, gone different ways, but somehow the Redskins are trying to make their way back.
Like, just let the defense do their thing, hold it down.
The only thing is that they're missing is the number one legit shutdown corner.
Exactly.
That is what. Look, I love Norman. He's really good at what he does. He does a great job on the field. I just don't like the way he came at fans, but. That one lockdown, just give me a game where you completely just shut out a star wide receiver.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's just, I just think that with the front seven being so strong this year, or should be so strong this year, I think that Josh Norman will get back to, I'm not going to say Carolina days because I feel like those days are already gone and past. But if you go back to the first year with the Redskins.
Oh, he did extremely
well. I'm talking about, like, quarterbacks barely even look to his side of the field. And I feel like that could definitely kind of get back this year.
Yeah, and I think you're right because even Norman has said that he wasn't really able to work out last year like he did coming up into.
He stuff in the offseason too.
Yeah, and so this year he said he really made a point to work hard. And he feels like he did back in the Carolina days. So hopefully he can. And then in this defense, the defensive line and the pressure is almost replicable. It's not a replica, but it's very close to what he had in Carolina. So you can almost say, wow, maybe he can get back to that form.
I mean, even last year, after, like I said, he had a horrible first probably half of the season. After that Monday Night Saints game, when DJ Swearinger kind of ripped into him, the coaching staff ripped into him, hell, even the commentators ripping into him.
Yeah.
He played fairly well after that. So we'll see if he can build on that again.
Yeah, hopefully he can.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big question mark, though, to be perfectly honest with you.
He's definitely lost a lot of speed. He's getting burnt up there.
Oh.
Burnt. But again, with Monte coming back, hopefully he can stay healthy for 12 to 13 games this year. Landon Collins is... I can't talk today for some reason. Landon Collins...
We know why, Mike.
Yeah. Landon Collins on the back end, helping out too, so... We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. But let's move on to the Nationals. The Nationals just won a huge game last night. They destroyed the Reds 17-7.
Series sweep.
I was on my way to soccer listening to Dave Jagler call the game, and I listened to Steven Strasburg's RBI hit. Mm-hmm. The guy has been batting his ass off this year. I'm not sure if Max Scherzer rubbed off on him, but for some reason, Strasburg has found his bat, and has been killing it so far. They had a 7-run 6-inning last night. Ended up winning 17-7. Every single player that was on that roster scored, which is huge. That never happens.
That's almost unheard of in baseball.
Right, and Strasburg was just on fire as well. That's what the Nationals need with that inept bullpen that they have.
Exactly.
Look, the Nationals have a way. They can get this done. 6 games back of the Braves right now. They have a 3-game lead over the Phillies in the division. They have the wild card, but they're only up by a game and a half.
Right.
I think they can get it done.
I think they can definitely get the wild card done. I just feel like the division, even though it's still up for grabs technically, because they have so many games against the Braves left.
Right.
I think it's, like 17 games against the
Braves? Well, no,
it
should be 14 now.
14 now, yeah, because it was 17 after the last series. But 14 games left against the Braves. 6 games out. I know they closed it down to like 3.5, 4 games at one point.
Yeah.
And then obviously jump back up to 6 again. But it's just like they cannot get over that 3.5, 4 game mark hill to get closer to the Braves. So
they were close. They had it down to I think 4.5, 4 when they were playing them, but then they lost the next couple games.
So like they can never get over that hump of 3.5 to 4 game lead, which is cool. I mean, it is what it is. They had a rough, really, really, really rough start in the beginning of the season. But the wild card, definitely, I can definitely see us eyeing that top wild card spot easily. Is just keep winning on the clip they're winning at like 7% of the games they're winning, or something like that now. And Rendon obviously is just destroying the ball. Contract numbers going up.
Speaking of destroying the ball, Juan Soto, one of the only 4 players in MLB history to have 25-plus home runs and before being 21 years old. And what was it? Mike Trout, it was Juan Soto, it was, oh my God, what's his name? I can't remember it now. It's a household name. But Alex Rodriguez.
Acuna Jr.
Oh, yeah, Acuna as well. So the fact being is that Juan Soto is having a phenomenal year. This is why they didn't pay Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce.
For this reason, and we said it when this went down, because the Nationals know they're going to have to pay these guys.
It just sucks because I feel like now they're kind of banking on, well, we knew that Soto and Robles would take over for Bryce, but like, could they potentially be like the next guys up to replace Rendon?
Right. Which is scary because they also have to pay Trey Turner, and they know this. But look, man, the Nationals
need Rendon. Like without a doubt, he's if not the best, the second best third baseman in the game right now.
Yeah.
Behind Arenado. You can even go like I said 1A, but he's literally the cornerstone right now, like behind Soto or in front of Soto and Robles.
Right.
But we gotta resign him.
Max Scherzer has to get healthy. The big question marks. Nationals rushed him back too early. He injured it even more, his back. So he hasn't been back in a month?
Yeah.
Nationals, but Max has hinted that he's going to be back soon. But when?
I think yesterday he had the rehab start, the simulated game or whatever. Felt pretty good afterwards. The next day felt pretty good, no soreness. So I think that come maybe the end of this weekend, into next week, he'll be back on the mound again.
But he needs to. He really does, because the starters for the Nationals really lost their way without him. Corbin dropped his last start. Strasburg 2 starts ago dropped his start. So it's the Nationals need the starters to come back. Luckily, Joe Ross and Eric Fetty have come off and have pitched really well for them.
Pitching their asses off right now. Like this is the guys that they thought they would be when they drafted them, brought them through the system and all that stuff. So good to see them getting their shine right now. But like you said, we need those top three, the big three, to just be healthy going into the postseason or for the postseason run.
Yeah.
Into the postseason, and hopefully into the World Series.
Yeah, and look, like I've talked about this on the podcast before, I think there is a lot of comparison to DC teams. And I feel like this is a lot like the Capitals' run when they won the Stanley Cup Final. They started out terribly, talk of the head coach being fired. Nonsense goes on. Guys are a little banged up, but then they start rolling at the end of the season, end up winning the division. I still think it's achievable with the Nationals. I'm just not sure if it's going to be able to get done based on the injuries.
Right.
If they keep having one injury at a time just piling up, it's ridiculous. At first, it was Trey Turner got hurt. Yeah. And then it was Anthony Rendon is banged up. And then it's just ridiculous. And now it's Max Scherzer. And it's almost they can't catch a break. But they're also not caving in water. Like, they're still staying afloat, even with all these little dashes of injuries.
And that just bodes well to a great, strong team right there.
Yeah, and a lot of credit to Davey. So that guy does need a lot more credit because everyone was calling on him to be fired.
I remember back in March, everyone was saying, will he make it out of March? Will he be here in April?
Right.
And here we are in August, going into almost September. And he's still here, going strong.
Yeah, so good for him. Nationals they're humming.
Yep.
They're working. And I like it. Davey Martinez, I like this quote the most, had said, "We're just looking to go 1-0. Right. It's that day. That's all we're worried about." And look, obviously every goddamn manager says that, but I think Davey is telling the truth there.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to go about this if you're the Nationals. If you're so worried about getting 6 games up, you're gonna lose more games than you're supposed to. And I really do believe that. But look, the Nationals are on the way up.
Yeah.
And we have to go see a game soon, though.
I know. It's getting to crunch time, too, because once September hits and the October games hit, price is going to be crazy.
But that being said, though, if the Redskins are playing, generally the tickets drop for Nationals.
That is true.
So it is actually a good time to go see the Nats.
And nice weather outside there, too.
Fall weather, perfect.
It's not a bad idea, actually. We should do that.
Baseball in the fall, cold beer, and a hot dog. All day long, dude. I hate hot dogs, but I'll eat them at a ballpark. Ballpark dogs are just different, dude.
Literally, they do taste different. I'm not going to lie.
Right. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. That's our little breakdown for you of tonight's game, of the matchup. The Redskins going against the Cincinnati Bengals. Hopefully, the Redskins can replicate what the Nationals did last night and pound on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Let's hope they score more than 17, because, that was what we averaged last year, and it was kind of putrid.
Right. Let's score some more points. All right, everyone. Go follow and like our page on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you so much, everybody. And always,
Redskins football.
Woo! Redskins football. Woo!
ACTR.